On this episode, how to keep your back fresher if you're doing conventional deadlifts. So on the weekend that just passed, we did a workshop on the deadlift, and we had quite a few people in attendance, which gave us the opportunity to have a look at what people normally do as a habit when they do their deadlifts. And amongst these people, there were all types of experience levels, from all the way from beginners to more experienced guys who've done comps before and so on. And no matter what experience level they were, there was a couple of things that was a common factor or a common thing that we saw in regards to the technique that could be made better. And that thing is the idea that they had that the shin needs to be almost completely vertical when they set up for the deadlift. This is especially we're talking about conventional deadlifters here, so not so much sumo pullers for this particular topic. So if you're a conventional puller, chances are that you have been taught, or you think that you get better leverage if you have your shin vertical. And that's what we were seeing as a common thing when we were having a look at everybody deadlift on the day. And it makes sense logically. The reason why they were doing it, when I was asking them, I said, why do you have your shins so vertical? They said it's because they feel like they can pull more of the slack out of the bar. They feel like they can get tighter before the lift off, which is the case. It is true. You can typically you get much more of the slack out of the bar when you have your shins straight up, because when you have your hands on the bar and you have your shins straight, whilst keeping the shin straight, if you sort of drop the hips down a little bit, you end up pulling the slack out of the bar a little bit. The thing is, when you do that, a lot of times, at least what we're observing with people, was the torso stays too parallel to the ground. It stays like at this kind of an angle to the ground. And what that does is it puts a lot of the pressure and a lot of the work on the lower back itself as you're pulling off the ground. So although it may feel right, it may feel like it's much tighter off the ground, and that's how it should feel or whatever, right? It's not always the best way, the optimal way to start. So one of our guys, for example, was doing the deadlift. We observed this technique. It wasn't terrible at all. He's pulled decent weights, being deadlifting the way he's been doing it. But we changed it, put the hips down just a little bit, chest up a little bit more, so that the torso angle went from somewhere here to like somewhere here, right? And the more upright your torso is, obviously, the less stress on the lower back. Hence why sumo deadlifting typically puts less stress on the lower back. And since the workshop was finished, this particular person has given me some feedback on this new positioning before the first pull. And he commented that he feels like the lower back is much more fresher for the rest of the week after doing even like higher volume deadlifts. What this means is that they can go back and do their low bar squats at a much more higher intensity, higher volume. They can handle it because the back hasn't been smashed as much as it normally would have been if the hips were higher, shins were straighter, and therefore the torso angle was more parallel to the ground. So it's a little bit of a hack, I guess, but also a little bit of a misinformation that people think that the torso needs to be, the shins need to be in a certain position, but that tightness needs to be created in a certain way. It's not always just about tightness. It's more so about optimal joint alignment in relation to the bar and biomechanics. Getting the hips down lower, getting the chest up higher usually means you can bunch up tighter. You can get the hips closer to the bar, and at the same time you can get the chest up more, take a lot of the pressure out of the lower back. Obviously you can go completely the other way and go down way too low, like squat down too much, and that's not good either. That's why you need preferably a coach to at least give you a feedback once or twice to make sure it's optimal. But try it out. Get the hips down a little bit lower so that the shoulders are aligned better with the bar. Not so much of a stiff leg deadlift, but a little bit more of a squat, if you will, but not so much of a squat. Just like if you have a look at your body from the side, it should look like a V. Not so much like that, and obviously not like that either. If you guys have any questions or you need like clarification with that, just send us a video from the side. I'll have a look at it myself, and I'll give you some feedback on on if I think your hip should be lower or higher or whatever. Hopefully that helps. Share the video if you think somebody could get some benefit out of this, and hope to see some of you guys' videos sent through.